I crossed over into the role of the villainous male supporting character in an abusive romance novel. The female CEO said she had found true love and, even if it meant leaving with nothing and living in a slum eating instant noodles, she would divorce me. I quickly signed the divorce papers, receiving all of the female CEO's wealth, and pretended to be heartbroken, saying, "I support you in finding true love. I'll bear the pain of living in a big villa, driving luxury cars, and receiving $1 million a month in living expenses." Chapter 1. I woke up to find myself attending a dinner party. Looking around at the overlapping figures in the lights, I was dazed for a long moment before I snapped back to reality. I reviewed the plot in my mind. The original character was named George, and he and the female lead, Willow, were childhood sweethearts. 2 years ago, he used underhanded tactics to force Willow to marry him. Since then, Willow despised him, often going on business trips and not returning home. Later, Willow found true love. She was willing to leave everything behind, even live in a slum eating instant noodles, just to divorce me. But I refused, relentlessly harming her lover and doing every evil deed imaginable, ultimately dying tragically on the streets. Sigh. The original character was so foolish. Before the divorce, my wife never came home, lived in a big villa, drove luxury cars, and I received $1 million a month in living expenses. After the divorce, I inherited her billions, and immediately became a rich man. My goodness, where could I find such good luck? Thanks to my ancestors, I'll burn some extra paper money for them when I get the chance. I turned around and saw Willow surrounded by a crowd. She was noble and beautiful, and every movement of hers radiated an overwhelming scent of money. I really like it. After the banquet, Willow and I left together. In the quiet car, I happily looked down at my bank balance. The living expenses had only started 6 months ago, which meant my account now had $6 million. Although the original character came from a rich family, he couldn't compete with his 2 older brothers and was a carefree, lazy playboy. The wealth he received was minuscule. It was still Willow who had the real money. I bit down on my tie, trying not to laugh out loud. Suddenly, I heard a loud bang. I leaned my head out to look and saw a figure lying on the ground. Oh, I remember now. This was when the female lead would meet the male lead, Makoto, and fall in love at first sight, quickly becoming infatuated. She would even give up her family inheritance and become penniless for him. Honestly, I've seen women who are foolish in love, but I've never seen anyone as foolish as Willow. Even Romeo and Juliet would call her ancestor. The driver was already panicked. Getting out of the car, I turned to look at Willow, still resting her eyes. "Aren't you going to go check?" Willow opened her eyes, her gaze cold as ice. My little heart trembled. This powerful aura was not something just anyone could handle. Before I could speak again, the driver rushed over and said the person was badly injured. Willow told the driver to call an ambulance. According to the plot, I would follow them to the hospital. Noticing that Willow had feelings for Makoto, I would then start causing trouble, plotting to kill Makoto. Thankfully, I came over early, and everything was still salvageable. I said thoughtfully, "You stay here to handle it. I'll just take a taxi back." Without waiting for her response, I opened the car door and left. Even when Willow wasn't on a business trip, she rarely returned home. After all, she owned dozens of properties. The next day, I woke up at noon, had some expensive drinks to rinse my mouth, and then started my luxurious lunch. In the afternoon, I went on a shopping spree. I was almost in pain from swiping my card, but fortunately, this month's living expenses were almost here. Although my life was decent, it still ultimately depended on Willow's mood. I had to check in on Willow and Makoto's relationship progress. Were they sparking with passion, falling deeper in love? If not, I would have to give them a little push to speed up the divorce. At the hospital, I stood outside the room. Through a small gap, I saw Willow feeding porridge to Makoto, forcing him to eat. I knew this scene was happening because Makoto refused to eat, so Willow was making him. TSK. I wonder if I'll become even more morally corrupt than Willow after I divorce her and become a billionaire. Willow released her hand and looked at the man sitting on the hospital bed. "Are you going to eat on your own, or do you want me to keep feeding you?" Chapter 2. Makoto choked, his face turning bright red, and he stubbornly turned his head away. This poor little thing makes my heart ache for a few seconds. Before long, Willow grabbed Makoto's chin again. Their eyes met, locking in a gaze so intense that even the air seemed to be filled with the scent of dopamine. I was very satisfied and quietly closed the door, so no one would interrupt them. In the evening, I received a call from Willow. "Dad wants us to come home for dinner." She was referring to the Liu family's old mansion. Okay, when I arrived at the Liu family's old mansion, Willow hadn't come back yet, so I sat in the living room, munching on sunflower seeds and eating fruit. I heard footsteps coming from the stairs. I looked up and saw Liu's mother. She wasn't Willow's biological mother but the second wife of Liu's father. She walked over, a smile on her face, but it was full of hidden daggers. "George, Lately no one's been gossiping about you living off a woman, right? Lou's mother had always looked down on me for living off a woman, and every time we met, she'd throw a sarcastic comment my way, but I didn't care at all. Living off a woman was my skill. Most men would love to live off a woman but never get the chance. I chuckled a few times. It's fine. Being a kept man is my blessing. Lou's mother didn't expect me to respond this way, and her smile froze a little, because in the past, if someone had teased the original character like this, he would have been enraged and gone on and on defending that he wasn't living off a woman. I shrugged. She clearly didn't understand me. Right now, I didn't care about a shred of true affection. I just wanted wealth and luxury. Not long after, Willow returned with Lou's father. Dinner was ready in the kitchen. I looked at the spread on the table: huge lobsters airlifted from Australia, Alba white truffles from Italy, caviar salad, and other high-end dishes I had never tasted before. I had to admit, wealthy people really knew how to enjoy life. This time, I was going to eat everything I hadn't eaten before. I began to wolf down the food, even licking the plate clean. Willow watched me devouring everything, her brows furrowing in clear disdain. I glanced at her. Is it disgusting? It should be. Don't fall in love with me. After Lou's father and mother finished eating, they went out for a walk. I looked at Willow's delicate, indifferent face. By the way, when will this month's living expenses arrive? Willow gave me an odd look, because George had once been indifferent to money, obsessed with love to the point where even bringing up money was an insult to his love. That was the original character, foolish. But I wasn't foolish. I loved money, and money loved me. It came from all directions. Willow's voice was cold. Do you think I'm the kind of person who deals with small amounts of money? Ask my secretary. I nodded, then lowered my head to message Willow's secretary on WeChat. A few minutes later, I received a notification that 1 million had been deposited into my account. I smiled in satisfaction. After dinner, the family sat in the living room. Lou's father's words were full of subtle hints, urging us to have a child as soon as possible. Willow didn't respond. I, however, nodded in full cooperation, displaying my extraordinary acting skills. With a smile, I said, Willow and I will try our best. Willow seemed disgusted again, glaring at me fiercely. Lou's father insisted that we stay the night. He was well aware that Willow rarely came home, so he was seizing the opportunity to encourage us to make a baby. Making a baby? Forget it. I didn't want to bring misfortune. Once the living room was empty, with just the two of us, Willow coldly said, George, I will never have a child with you. Don't dream. Chapter 3. I immediately raised 4 fingers and swore, don't worry, I have absolutely no ulterior motives. She obviously didn't believe me and went upstairs. Half an hour later, after I finished showering, I saw Willow on a video call. Willow, your dad contacted me last night and offered me 80 million to leave you. Makoto closed his eyes, his voice low and sorrowful. Your dad, he's so humiliating. Willow was furious. My dad has gone too far. Upon hearing this, my eyes lit up, and I wiped the saliva off my mouth. 80 million, I'm really envious. Maybe he can also come and humiliate me. Then I comforted myself, it's okay. After the divorce, all of Willow's wealth will be mine. At this moment, I couldn't even imagine how lively and cheerful I would be on the day of our divorce. The next morning, Lou's father called me to do some physical exercise. I wasn't keen on waking up early, but after spending the whole night on the sofa, I really had a sore back. After doing a set of calisthenics, Lou's father got to the point. He told me that Willow had been getting close to a man recently, and he wanted me to pay attention. Since he couldn't get rid of Makoto with money and didn't want to use force to avoid damaging his relationship with Willow, he subtly hinted that I should find a way to break them up. My goodness, why am I the one who has to break them up? This is an abuse story, but the one being abused is me, and the male and female leads will end up with a perfect happy ending. On the surface, I solemnly nodded and agreed, but deep down, I couldn't wait for this green hat to be firmly placed on my head. Green. Such a vibrant color. Willow didn't come home for lunch. Lou's father even specifically called me and asked me to bring chicken soup to Willow at the company. I had no choice but to comply. So, I grabbed the thermos and went to the company. When I opened the door, I saw Makoto standing by the desk, frowning and covering his hand. I suddenly remembered there was a plot in the story where I threw hot water on him. At this thought, a bad premonition rose, and just as I was about to leave, I saw Willow quickly walking toward me and pushing me aside. Willow saw Makoto's reddened hand and nervously asked, "What happened to your hand?" "I burned it," he replied. Willow turned to look at me, her eyes full of murderous intent. "George, if you lay a finger on him again, I won't let you off." Well, I have to admit, that was quite a spectacle. It wasn't me. Before I could finish, Willow stormed in front of me and slapped me across the face. "The office only has you and him. Who else could it be? Damn it." Thinking of her entire fortune, I immediately let it go. As long as I endure this suffering, Wealth is just around the corner, Willow viciously warned me. If something happens to Makoto's hand, I will make you pay twice as much. I was speechless. What could happen? It's just a burn. Can't a grown man stop being so melodramatic? Shut up, Willow said, raising her hand to slap me again. I instinctively stepped back to dodge, and at the same time, her wrist was grabbed by someone. I turned my head and saw a beautiful face. It was the book's second female lead, Anna, Willow's half-sister. If Willow was the smart, capable heir, then Anna was her complete opposite, spending all her time eating, drinking, and playing. The two of them had never gotten along. They locked eyes, and there was an air of tension between them. At that moment, Makoto stepped forward and gently pulled Willow's hand. Willow, I accidentally burned my hand. It has nothing to do with Mr. Wong. I almost rolled my eyes to the back of my head. Finally, I understood what it meant to have a male lead with no backbone. But the one suffering was me. He didn't clarify things sooner, and now I got slapped for nothing. That hurt like hell. Willow didn't even glance at me and dragged Makoto out. Anna looked at me. Aren't you going to go after her? Although I didn't have much interaction with Anna, she had at least heard of my reputation as a love fool. I walked over to the floor-to-ceiling window, looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle, and sighed dramatically. You saw it too. I gave my all to her, but she's cold-hearted. Anyone would feel disheartened. I'm tired. I don't want to love her anymore. The air suddenly grew still, and I turned to see Anna glaring at me like a hungry predator. Damn. She wouldn't be falling for me, would she? She's really hungry. When Willow returned to the office, I was busy chewing on a chicken leg. I have to admit, the ginseng chicken soup was really delicious, fresh and savory. It was a waste to give it to Willow. Willow squinted at me. Who told you that you could eat in my office? I couldn't be bothered to answer her. After licking the thermos clean, I stood up, ready to leave. Stop, Willow called out to me. George, I don't love you. This marriage was a mistake from the beginning. Let's get a divorce. I pressed down my wildly beating heart and silently thanked my ancestors. I casually asked, are you sure you want to divorce? Willow pursed her lips. Yes. A fruit that is forcibly picked will never be sweet. I've already found the person I truly love, and I just want to spend the rest of my life with him. Seeing me silent, Willow thought I was unwilling to divorce and was about to say something more when I stretched out my hand toward her. What? I excitedly said. The divorce agreement. Of course. Chapter 4. Willow froze for a moment, her delicate face showing a hint of confusion, but she didn't ask any more questions. Instead, she said, I'll have someone prepare the divorce papers now. Before she could finish her sentence, a panicked voice interrupted. Not good, not good. The chairman's heart condition just flared up. I looked up and saw Lou's father collapse to the ground. His face twisted in pain. Willow's face immediately changed, and she turned and ran out. My smile vanished instantly, and my mood felt like a roller coaster, so many ups and downs. Lou's father has heart disease, so he must have been triggered by the news of Willow wanting a divorce. After taking his medication, he sat on the sofa, his spirits restored as he scolded Willow. Do you even know what you're doing? Wanting a divorce over some man who just appeared out of nowhere. Willow's expression tightened. Dad, you don't understand. He's the moon I look up to from the abyss. Lou's father, enraged, grabbed a cup from the table and smashed it on the floor. The moon my ass. Startled, I quickly moved to the side to avoid getting caught in the crossfire. Willow said she had been raised as the family heir since birth, with no freedom, only restrictions. If she could choose, she would rather be an ordinary person and live a free life doing what she loves. I thought to myself that it was easy for her to say, but others would envy her luck in being born into wealth. The privileged life she complained about sounded like someone else's dream. Willow looked at her father, her eyes firm. Dad, I've made up my mind. I'd rather leave with nothing than stay in this marriage. At that moment, I found the words, leaving with nothing, oddly pleasant to hear. Lou's father was beyond furious, pointing at Willow and shouting, get out. Willow pursed her lips and turned to leave. I walked over to Lou's father's side. Dad, calm down. Don't let your health be affected. Lou's father handed me a black card. George, you've been wronged. Buy whatever you want. Tears streamed down my face as I accepted the card. Dad, I can't live without you. I can't live without your money. If I had a few more of these black cards, I wouldn't just tolerate a little grievance like this. I'd be willing to perform chest-breaking stunts if needed. Although Lou's father strongly opposed Willow divorcing me, she was still determined to seek true love, and of course, I would support her. Let this fortune come at me even more fiercely. But then, I didn't expect Makoto to ask to meet me. I'm just a minor male character, someone who can easily be killed off by the male lead, so I refused to meet him. Makoto didn't give up, showing up at my doorstep to block me. When he saw me, Makoto suddenly knelt down, his eyes red as he looked at me. I promise you, I'll break up with Willow. What the hell? I never asked you to break up with her. In fact, I'm hoping you two will stay together and grow old together. And the way he was acting, If Willow saw this, she'd think I did something to him. Get up first, Makoto stubbornly said. I won't get up unless you agree. Agree to what? I pray every day for a quick divorce, so I can get away from you too. Just as I was thinking that, Willow walked over with a dark expression. I immediately jumped back 10 feet. I rubbed my face. The slap from yesterday still stung. As expected, Willow stormed in and accused me. George, what did you do to Makoto? This time, the male lead finally spoke up. Willow, I'm the one who insisted on kneeling. I want to ask Mr. Wang not to divorce you. I don't want you to suffer with me. Willow bent down and hugged Makoto. As long as I can be with you, I'm willing to face any kind of life. My mouth twitched. That line was so cliché. Makoto looked at Willow. His eyes read. Willow, don't say anything. I've already decided. I'm yours in this life. Willow interrupted him, stood up, and looked at me, pulling out the divorce papers from her bag. George, let's go file for the divorce now. Chapter 5. Her words fell, and I had already opened the car door, looking at her and urging, hurry up, let's go. Willow was stunned. The three of us arrived at the marriage registration office, and the staff looked at me with a sympathetic gaze. Which man brings his wife's new lover to get a divorce certificate? Indeed, my situation was one that should lead me to sudden wealth. As Willow had said earlier, she gave me all the assets under her name, leaving with nothing. She kept only 200 yuan in her pocket, and feeling sorry for her, I slipped her 10 yuan. Acting heartbroken as I said, I support you in finding true love. Let me bear the hardship of living in a big villa and driving luxury cars. After saying that, I didn't wait for her reaction and walked ahead. Once I got in the car, I looked at the divorce certificate in my hand, overwhelmed with emotion. This journey had been so difficult. I took a photo and posted it on social media. Caption, my life, walking on thin ice. Soon, comments flooded in, all calling me a kept man, all mocking voices. They even said I was the laughingstock of the upper class. I didn't care at all. They just didn't understand the joy of being a single billionaire like me. After finalizing the divorce, Willow resigned from her CEO position and moved into a rundown apartment to live with Makoto. They worked every day and ate instant noodles. Honestly, Willow's behavior was shocking even in the world of relationships. Lou's father, frustrated and disappointed, angrily remarked that he would see how long she could last without the Liu family's support. Willow and I had been in a marriage for business, binding a lot of interests. Now that we were divorced, the Wang family was displeased with me. My original parents and two brothers took turns in the family group chat to scold me. They said I was useless to begin with, and now that Willow had dumped me, I was of no value. They told me to go beg for reconciliation immediately. I was also annoyed. The original owner had never felt warmth from his family, only power struggles and competition for family assets. Wang father and Wang mother only treated the original owner as a tool to be exploited. I simply removed them all from the group chat. Then, my phone vibrated. I quickly blocked them. Finally, my ears were at peace. I thought to myself, thank goodness they didn't know that Willow left with nothing. Otherwise, they'd probably be at my door right now. Thinking of this, I decided to go on a trip. What if they found out and came to ask for money? That would be so annoying. I'm a man of action. So after quickly planning, I booked a flight and flew to a small island abroad for vacation. Sun, sand, and beautiful women everywhere. This was living the dream. Now, I could say I had truly endured hardship and was finally reaping the rewards. Soon, I spotted a familiar figure among the crowd. No way. Didn't I just end things with her sister? Now I'm running into her sister's younger one. Please, no. Anna spotted me, took off her sunglasses, and walked towards me. You're not going to beg my sister to remarry, but you're here on vacation instead. Remarry? Laughable. Is my bank account not enough? Or are the women here not beautiful enough? I pointed at the girls playing in the water on the beach ahead. That one. And that one over there in a pink bikini. Look at them. They're all prettier than your sister. Why would I go back to her and remarry? Anna blinked. I thought you really loved my sister. Correction, I only loved her money. As for her, I wouldn't take her even if she were given to me for free. I whistled at a girl walking by and waved my hand. I'm busy enjoying life. No time for love. As for your sister, I wish her 2 kids in the next 3 years. Anna looked at me with a probing gaze, even as if she wanted to put her hand on my forehead to check if I had a fever. I shrugged. Indifferent. The marriage was over. The money was mine, and I didn't need to keep pretending to be emotionally invested. After a moment, Anna asked again, I heard that my sister gave you all her assets. Chapter 6. I turned to look at Anna, a guarded expression on my face. Hadn't she already set her sights on enough of my things? Was she now aiming for my money too? I pretended to be casual. Well, that's the case, but it's not that much. After all, Willow's personal assets were nothing compared to the vast wealth of the Liu family. I quickly changed the subject. Miss Liu, are you here for vacation too? Anna smiled. Brother-in-law, you used to call me Anita. Huh. I racked my brain, trying to recall the plot from the book, but I couldn't remember any connection between me and Anna. Did I miss something in the storyline? Maybe something went wrong with the plot. This was my first time transmigrating into a book, and I wasn't very experienced with the rules, but her appetite was a bit special. Lou's father had blocked the news of my divorce from Willow, so now the whole city was spreading rumors that I was the abandoned husband of a wealthy family. Little did they know, I was counting money every day until my hands hurt and didn't care at all what others thought of me. You didn't follow me here, did you? Anna smiled lazily. This island is mine. I widened my eyes, surprised as I looked at her. This island had restaurants, hotels, all sorts of entertainment facilities. You could imagine how profitable it was every year. It seemed Anna wasn't as idle as the book made her out to be. She was actually quite the businesswoman. I grinned and leaned closer. Then treat me to a meal. The thought of this entire island being hers and the potential for unlimited food and drinks made me feel like meeting her wasn't such a bad thing after all. Anna was quick to agree and took me to the restaurant. Once seated, I opened the menu. It was all in English, each letter I recognized, but the combination of them made it feel unfamiliar. I glanced at Anna sitting across from me. She was elegantly placing her order. The original owner, while not a good person, was a scholar and fluent in several languages. I was afraid of making a fool of myself, so I nervously pointed at random items on the menu. After a while, the dishes Anna ordered arrived at the table. None of mine had come. I saw her cutting a piece of steak and putting it in her mouth, making me salivate. I frowned and said, "Your restaurant isn't very efficient. I've been waiting forever." I waved over the waiter. "Why hasn't my food arrived yet?" The waiter smiled. "Sir, the 4 piano pieces you ordered have been played." I was instantly embarrassed, wanting to disappear into a hole. I forced out a laugh and said to Anna, "I thought you might get bored, so I ordered a few pieces of music to entertain you. They're quite nice, aren't they?" Anna didn't even bother calling me out. She instructed the waiter to bring another round of the dishes she had ordered, and even pushed a bowl of creamy mushroom soup toward me, telling me to drink it first to settle my stomach. My fondness for her increased greatly at that moment. She was much more sensible than her sister. While we were eating, the beautiful woman at the next table kept making eyes at me. I touched my short hair. Man, my charm was truly uncontainable. Anna noticed the exchange and kicked my foot under the table, signaling me to behave. After eating and drinking to my heart's content, I headed back to the hotel to sleep. In the middle of the night, I suddenly heard the doorbell. I thought it was someone from the hotel and went to open the door. As soon as I opened it, a figure rushed into my arms. Anna, in a playful tone, said, "There's thunder." I'm so scared. Just as her words fell, a loud clap of thunder echoed outside, perfectly timed. I thought to myself, with how enthusiastic you are, now I'm scared. Chapter 7. Anna looked up at me and said, "Can I sleep with you tonight?" I felt a little uneasy. I don't think that's a good idea. Anna was like a sly little fox. I couldn't figure out whether she had some ulterior motive. I might let her play with my feelings, but she couldn't mess with my money. She had already loosened her grip on me and walked inside. "You and my sister are divorced. What's the harm?" As I closed the door, I casually asked, "You don't have feelings for me, do you?" Anna paused for a moment, then looked at me and said, "You idiot, you're just figuring that out now." She walked up to me, lifted her hand, and tugged on my ear. "George, listen carefully. That year, when you fell off the rock garden and passed out, it was me who took you to the hospital, not Willow." When she said that, I suddenly remembered a scene from the book where it was explained why George liked Willow, because she had saved him when they were teenagers. But it wasn't Willow who saved him, it was Anna. So, Anna had liked the original owner since she was a teenager. However, all these years, the original owner had been focused on Willow, so Anna had to hide her feelings. She only started to make a move after the divorce. Anna and I stayed on the island for more than half a month, then flew abroad to continue our vacation. We shopped, enjoyed delicious food, and had a great time together. We became travel buddies. After spending this time together, our relationship had progressed to the point where we became a couple. Anna's personality was completely different from Willow's. On the surface, she seemed spoiled and willful, but in reality, she was very understanding. Being with her made me feel so relaxed. 3 months later, we returned to our home country. Anna took me to the Lou family's house to make our relationship public. As soon as we entered, we saw Willow sitting on the living room sofa, dressed in a lady's suit. She still looked as elegant and beautiful as ever, with no sign of distress. I recalled the news I had seen a few days ago. Willow had set up her own company. No wonder she was the female lead. No matter how difficult things were, she could always rise again. She was like an indestructible cockroach. I believed that, in the near future, she would build her own business empire. Seeing that Willow had made up her mind to be with Makoto, Lou's father reluctantly agreed. Willow looked at the hands Anna and I were holding, her face darkening with fury. What's going on here? I knew Willow had always hated her stepmother, And since Anna was the stepmother's daughter, she naturally hated Anna too. The two sisters had a terrible relationship. I nonchalantly replied, "Just what you see." Willow sneered, "Don't think I don't know that you're with Anna to get back at me." I held Anna's hand. Feeling her fingers tense up, I immediately squeezed her hand a little tighter and looked at Willow. "President Lou, your skin is really thick. After all the effort I put in to win over my girlfriend, how did it suddenly turn into a tool to get back at you? I'm with Anna because I like her. It has nothing to do with you. Stop trying to make yourself the center of this story. Besides, we're divorced now. You have no right to interfere in my personal matters." Willow froze for a moment, surprise flashing across her face. She was probably shocked because I had never spoken to her like that before. In her mind, I should be kneeling and begging for her to take me back, not standing up for Anna. I couldn't help but sneer internally. The original owner had been far too kind to her, which made it hard for her to accept the new me. I ignored her and led Anna toward the kitchen, planning to see what good food we could have for dinner. Anna asked, "You really don't like her anymore?" Chapter 8. When Anna asked that question, I could clearly sense her nervousness. I gently patted her head and said, "The only person I like now is you. Don't pay attention to what she says." Anna blushed and smiled shyly. Surprisingly, Lou's father had no objections to Anna and I being together. He was even happy about it, saying that good fortune should stay in the family and that, after all the twists and turns, I was still his son-in-law. I had to admire his bizarre logic. On the other hand, Lou's mother continued to look down on me, thinking I was living off her daughter, and ordered Anna to break up with me. Anna, of course, disagreed and played her trump card. She placed her hand on her stomach and said she was already pregnant with my child and couldn't break up with me. I was stunned. What a ridiculous situation. I was still a pure virgin. Lou's mother was extremely dissatisfied when she found out her daughter was pregnant but didn't dare to say anything more. After dinner, Willow's expression was extremely unpleasant, as though I had betrayed her. I had been supportive of her being with Makoto, and now that I had found a girlfriend, I didn't expect her to bless me, but she didn't have to look at me like that either. It really ruined my appetite. Lou's father, on the other hand, was very happy to hear he was going to be a grandfather. He even told me to start working at the company tomorrow. I figured it would be nice to find something to do, or else I'd get bored. After dinner, Anna and I left. Once we were outside, Willow called out to me, "George." I swallowed nervously. Was she having second thoughts and wanting her money back? I slowly turned to face her. "Is there something? I want to talk to you privately." Before I could respond, Anna released my hand. "I'll wait in the car for you." After Anna walked away, Willow asked, "Are you serious about Anna?" I nodded. "I'm always serious about these things." Willow sneered. "You sure move fast." I understood what she meant. She and Makoto were madly in love but still hadn't gotten married, whereas I had only been divorced from her for a short while, and now I was already expecting a child. I shrugged. "Well, what can I say? In 2 years, my kid will be old enough to buy soy sauce. You better hurry up." 2. The smile on Willow's lips froze, and her eyes grew a little deeper. "George, you've really changed. You're not the same as before." I felt a little guilty, kicking a small stone by my feet. "What? You're not used to me not clinging to you anymore." Willow narrowed her eyes. "You'd better know your place. Don't think about coming after me. Don't worry, you're already a thing of the past for me." I glanced at the time. "It's getting late. I'm leaving." I turned and walked toward the car. Once I was in the car, Anna asked, "What did she say to you?" I buckled my seatbelt, leaned over, and kissed her. "Nothing much. She was just jealous of our relationship and made some sarcastic comments. Don't mind her." When we got home, I suddenly looked at Anna and asked, "What if, in a few months, your belly doesn't show any signs of pregnancy? Won't the lie be exposed?" Lou's father was easy to handle, but Lou's mother might be a bit tricky. Anna smiled, wrapping her arms around my neck. "That's easy. We'll just make sure the rice is cooked and ready." With that, she stood on her tiptoes and kissed me. I quickly responded, wrapping my arms around her. 2 months later, Anna and I held a grand wedding, and the event was lively and full of joy. Willow watched us, her expression unreadable. I couldn't be bothered to guess what she was thinking. She and Makoto still had a long way to go before they could get together. While I had already remarried, she was probably jealous that I managed to remarry before she did. Anna whispered in my ear, "I'm pregnant." I excitedly lifted her into my arms. Finally, I was going to be a father.
I became a rich bystander in a novel about real and fake heiresses, and my mission is to redeem the future villainous fake heiress and make her happy, to prevent her from turning evil. I took her home and educated her from a young age to follow the law and be a good person, a kind little white flower. Under my guidance, she grew up to be an upright person, transforming from a villainess into the male lead's pure love. Besides helping old ladies cross the street, her hobbies included donating to disaster areas, and she easily captured the male lead, David's Heart. Just when I thought she was going to marry the male lead and achieve happiness, the real heiress confessed her love to me, and then the fake heiress turned evil. Brother, if you choose someone else, I will have to lock you up so no one can see you. I later found out that she was dark from the beginning, and her pure white flower appearance was just an act for me. Brother, I've been dreaming about David recently. Willow pouted and complained to me. David is the male lead of this novel, and Willow is the villainous fake heiress. Hearing her words, I knew the plot was about to start. I transmigrated into a novel about real and fake heiresses as a rich bystander, and my mission is to prevent the villainous fake heiress from turning evil and to make her happiness meter full. In the original story, Willow loved David but couldn't get him. In the end, a fire burned everything down. Now the plot is just starting, and due to the male lead's halo, Willow has already started dreaming about David. The power of the plot is indeed formidable. After all, he's our classmate, and he's a handsome one. It's normal to dream about him. I patted her head and brought breakfast to the table. Have breakfast, Willow. Brother, you're much more handsome than him. If I have to dream about someone, it should be you. She stuck out her tongue and made a funny face at me, looking pure and cute, completely different from the gloomy and extreme villainess in the book. This is my 10th year in this world, and the 10th year I brought Willow home and raised her as my sister. It seems my mission is going well so far. She is now happily and steadily entering university with a happiness meter of 60. Once she graduates successfully and captures the male lead, reaching a happiness meter of 100, I can return to my original world. After breakfast, we went to school together. In this world, I'm only a year older than Willow. To take better care of her, I delayed my enrollment, so we are in the same class. Now that the first year has just started, the plot line has officially begun. The male lead David and the real and fake heiresses, the three important characters, have finally met. Sure enough, after class, Anna came over and took Willow's hand. Willow, you are the child who was mistakenly taken by the Chen family back then, right? Willow looked at her suspiciously and then nodded. It was me and you who were mistakenly taken back then. I'm Anna. After we were switched back, we often met and played together. Do you remember? Hearing Anna's words, Willow smiled sweetly. Of course I remember. You're only a day older than me, and you said you wanted to be my sister. Anna excitedly hugged her. It's a pity that when I went to the Chen family to find you later, you were no longer there. I heard you were sent to the orphanage by Madame Chen. I don't know how you've been all these years. The Chen and Lu families are both prominent families in Yunshan, but Willow is an illegitimate daughter of the Chen family, while Anna is the real heiress of the Lu family, cherished by all. Their identities have been worlds apart since birth. Especially after Willow returned to the Chen family, she was discovered by Madame Chen and sent to the orphanage shortly after. In the original book, even though the Chen family brought Willow back and gave her a life of wealth and luxury, her days in the orphanage were a nightmare for her whole life. Fortunately, I transmigrated in time and took her home the day she was sent to the orphanage. Willow smiled at Anna, then looked up at me with eyes shining. My brother took me home on the first day I went to the orphanage. I've been living well all these years. Anna followed her gaze to me, and a strange expression flashed across her face, but it quickly disappeared. She smiled at me. I consider Willow my sister. Since you helped her, you help our Lu family. If you need my help in the future, don't hesitate to ask. Anna has the character of a kind little white flower who cares about everyone. But if she really cared about Willow back then, how could Willow have spent her childhood in the orphanage in the original story? Money can solve 99% of problems, and the remaining 1% is probably due to not having enough money to ensure the smooth completion of the mission. The system provided me with enough funds. I really don't need any help from the Lu family. I smiled and shook my head, not responding to Anna's words. I didn't expect that in the evening, Anna would bring her mother over and invite Willow and me to visit their home. Willow was the type who couldn't easily refuse others, so she looked at me for my approval. I nodded, and we got into the car heading to the Lu family's house. In the original story, Willow stayed with the Lu family for 8 years. After she turned 8, she never felt the warmth of a family again. However, 10 years later, when she stepped into the Lu family at 18, she was just an insignificant outsider, watching helplessly as her former parents doted on their real daughter, joking with her while being polite and distant to Willow, treating her as a guest. This visit to the Liu family was the first time Willow turned dark in the original story. She started to envy, hate, and even resent Anna, feeling that she had stolen her parents. But in this lifetime, I didn't let Willow grow up alone in an orphanage. Now she was not lacking in love and had become a self-confident and kind girl. Anna's mother ordered many dishes from a 5-star hotel, but Anna complained, "Mom, didn't you say you would cook yourself today?" Anna's mother explained, "Since Willow is coming to our house today, I was worried she might not be used to my cooking. You only cook once a week, and since we didn't get to eat it today, can you make my favorite chicken vegetable dish tomorrow?" Anna continued to ask. Her mother coaxed her and nodded. All right, I will make it for you tomorrow." Anna made a happy gesture and then looked at Willow. "Willow, you have no idea. I think my mom's cooking is better than a 5-star chef's, but she doesn't think so herself. I guess that's the taste of love." In the original story, Willow was deeply hurt by the interaction between Nana and her mother. She used to receive Anna's mother's love, but now she couldn't even taste her homemade food. That the current Willow was different from the one in the book. She smiled at me. "My brother also thinks his cooking is terrible, but I love it. George, you can cook? That's amazing." "Willow, you're so lucky to have a brother like him," Anna exclaimed in surprise. Willow nodded happily. "Yes, my brother has been cooking for me since I was little. His food is the best. In my previous life, as a low-wage worker, expensive takeout wasn't cost-effective, and cheap ones worried me about food safety, so I always cooked for myself. After coming here, I tried hiring a few nannies for Willow, but she didn't like any of them, so I ended up cooking for her myself. But I really think my cooking is just barely edible, certainly not any delicacy. However, Willow loves it and never leaves a bite. George, I would love to try your cooking sometime. Next time, let me visit your place, and don't forget to make something delicious for me," Anna joked. "No way," Willow frowned. "My brother's cooking is only for me." Anna's mother quickly stepped in to ease the tension and started praising me. When the Chen family sent Willow away, we couldn't take good care of her due to Madame Chen's relationship. We had no news of her all these years. We are really grateful to you, George. On the way home, Willow clung to my arm and sighed. "Brother, when I was little, I often wondered why I didn't have parents who loved me, but now I think having you is enough. No one else matters." She looked up at me with eyes shining with a light I couldn't understand. At this moment, I suddenly felt that she was not just a paper character I needed to save but a little girl whom I had truly redeemed. The plot of this book is quite old-fashioned and cliché, even though the male lead, David, and Willow had an engagement later on. He liked the kind-hearted Anna more. To help Willow succeed in winning the male lead in the future, I taught her from a young age to be a kind person. Now, she dares to help elderly people hit by cars and donates all her pocket money to children in mountainous areas. In class, she is always ready to help, like a little son. Yes, now Willow is kinder than the female lead. Besides studying, her mind is full of charity, almost as if she has installed Be a Good Person system. Halfway through the first semester of college, Willow almost became the class favorite due to her outstanding looks and easygoing personality. In the original story, disposition belonged to the female lead, Anna. Willow even suffered from school bullying due to her reclusive personality and beautiful appearance. It seems that character indeed determines destiny. The mission was progressing smoothly. The male lead, David, even started asking me about Willow's opinion of him, asking me to put in a good word for him in front of her. "Willow, what do you think of David?" I casually asked while taking Willow for a walk in the park on the weekend. Not kind enough. Last time an old lady fell, and he didn't help her. I was speechless for a moment, then asked, "What if he likes you? What would you view?" I would keep my eyes open. Closing them might cause me to trip. Willow snorted, "Brother, didn't you say we should study hard in school? That David is different. He's the male lead, our target." Just as I racked my brain to say something good about David, Willow interrupted me. "Brother, I don't like him. I just want to study hard now. Besides, except for you, everyone else in the world is the same to me. Why is this plot different from the original story?" In the book, Willow loved him deeply. I sighed, realizing I would have to find another way to promote David to Willow. David really liked Willow, always following her and giving her various gifts every day. I told David that Willow thought he wasn't kind enough for not helping a fallen old lady, so he helped 100 old men that day and got scanned for 88,000. After the male lead went crazy, the female lead also started acting strangely. Anna began to cling to me almost every day, joining us for meals. In the original story, wasn't she supposed to like David too? It seemed like David suddenly lost his male lead halo. One day, when Willow wasn't around, I finally couldn't help but ask, Anna, why do you stick to me every day? Do you like me? I didn't expect her to nod seriously. Yes. As she spoke, she grabbed my hand. Why don't we be together? At that moment, I saw Willow approaching from the corner of my eye. I quickly withdrew my hand and took 2 steps back. Brother. Anna, what were you two doing behind my back? Willow asked as she walked over. Nothing. Let's go eat. I quickly explained, but Anna raised an ambiguous eyebrow at me. I thought this was just a moment of impulsiveness for Anna. After all, the female lead should be attracted to the male lead, not me, a bystander, but it seemed she was determined to be with me, confessing several more times. Now we are still students. I just want to study hard. Besides, why? What do you like about me? I rejected her again. Because you are a bystander not controlled by the plot, Anna shrugged and revealed. Stop pretending. In this world, except for you and me, everyone else is an NPC, including the male lead, David. They don't have their own thoughts at all, she sighed. I just want to be with someone who has a mind of their own. I couldn't believe the female lead, Anna, had awakened. I was at a loss for words. This was not a good sign. An awakened person could become an uncontrollable factor, causing my mission to fail. Seeing my silence, she continued. I awakened at a young age. Everyone follows the plot without realizing it. The ridiculous thing is that they think it's their own choice. Until I met you, her gaze towards me grew increasingly passionate. You are a character outside the novel, and you changed the villainous Willow. You are the only person besides me with self-awareness in this world. So why shouldn't we be together? I shook my head, disagreeing. They just don't know this is a novel. But that doesn't mean they lack consciousness. Willow has changed because of me. She is no longer the Willow in the book. She is a living person, shaped by different experiences into different personalities. Let me guess your purpose for coming to this world. She smiled confidently. To save Willow, right? Then let me destroy her. I was shocked to hear such malicious words from the female lead, Anna, after she awakened. Anna really meant what she said. She was still friends with Willow the day before, but because I didn't accept her confession, she started her revenge the next day. She photoshopped Willow's photos and spread rumors that Willow was attending a prestigious school funded by an old man and that my relationship with Willow was not pure. Rumors spread like wildfire, and Willow became the subject of gossip, but Willow was prepared. She directly showed her donation records and bank statements, proving that her money came from the pocket money I gave her. She didn't buy luxury goods. Instead, she donated everything. The rumors were quickly dispelled. After all, no gold digger would sell their body to donate to children in mountainous areas. However, regarding the rumors about us, she smiled and told others, if I can be with my brother, that would be even better. After all, we are not related by blood. I was utterly stunned and confused. Although Anna knew the entire plot of the novel, her methods were not very sophisticated. She even put cockroaches in Willow's desk like an elementary school student. Willow expressionlessly crushed the cockroaches with a tissue, but when she saw me coming over, she screamed, "Brother, it's so scary. Come and comfort me." I am speechless. On Friday, Willow was on duty at school. After cooking dinner and seeing that she hadn't come home, I returned to the school to find her, only to discover that Anna had locked her in the classroom. "Brother, Anna likes you. She bullies me to be with you," Willow said pitifully. "I'll try to talk to her again." I sighed. Anna seemed to be losing it, possibly because she had known this was a Truman Show world since she was a child, making her collapse. But that couldn't excuse her madness. I couldn't understand why the originally kind female lead would act this way, but I just wanted to protect Willow and ensure the mission went smoothly. She keeps talking about main characters and supporting characters. Do you know what she's talking about, brother? Willow squinted at me, a hint of scrutiny in her eyes. For a moment, I felt she might know something, but I could only shake my head, indicating I didn't know either. "So, you don't know what she's talking about?" Willow sighed and said, "But it doesn't matter. This should end now. She wants too much." This greedy woman should have disappeared from our lives long ago. I didn't pay much attention to Willow's words, thinking she was just venting, but then, I received a call from the police station on the weekend. Willow had been pushed off the library roof by Anna. I rushed to the hospital, finding Willow lying pale on the bed, smiling at me. "Brother, it's done. That woman won't appear before us again." Sunlight streamed through the window, casting a glow on her face. Her amber eyes and long eyelashes left a delicate shadow on her eyelids. She looked like an angel these past few days. She kept saying she wanted Dan out of our lives, but I never expected her to use such extreme measures. Today must have been a trap she set for Anna, provoking her to push her off the roof. Otherwise, with Anna's timid nature, she wouldn't have done it. I suddenly realized I might not have changed her. She was still the ruthless character who would harm herself to achieve her goals, just like in the novel. Looking at her frail appearance, I felt both heartache and sadness. "Why? There are other ways," I said bitterly. "She dared to dream of stealing my brother. Of course, this greedy woman must be sent to prison to be properly reformed." Willow smiled sweetly at me, then comforted me. "Brother, it's okay. It's just the 4th floor, a minor fracture. Can you promise not to hurt yourself anymore?" I suddenly thought of the original ending, where she threw herself and David into the fire to F him entirely. This was the girl I had raised myself. I couldn't bear to see her treat herself this way. "Then, brother, you must promise me not to let other women get close to you, or I will go crazy." She looked at me seriously. My heart skipped a beat, and I forced a smile. "We will both have people we like and have our own families in the future, but I only like you. Brother, you are my family. I want to marry you." Willow stared into my eyes, as if afraid to miss any expression. Just like when she asked for toes as a child, she would look at me like this whenever she wanted something, making it hard to refuse. It would be a lie to say I hadn't noticed her feelings for me, but I never expected her feelings to be so straightforward and intense. Unlike Anna, Willow hadn't awakened. Her feelings for me overcame the plot, overcoming the instinct to fall for the male lead and breaking through her destined fate. But this isn't how it should be. I'm not her destined one. I'm just a wandering soul occupying an NPC role, wanting to return home. This isn't my world. I shook my head at her. "Willow, you're still young. You don't understand what true love is. You only depend on me." She didn't immediately refute, but instead pulled a slight smile, her eyes cold and strange. "So, brother, you don't like me, do you?" "Not in that way." I hardened my heart and nodded at her. "Yes, I only see you as my sister, for some reason." Saying this made me feel a pang of sadness. I felt terrible and feared she would be hurt. This was the girl I had raised, but I didn't deserve to have her. I could only watch over her silently, seeing her go to someone else's side. She lowered her eyes, her long eyelashes trembling slightly, her gaze unclear. "All right. In that case, I will return to the Chen family after I leave the hospital. Thank you for these 10 years. Brother, I'll double the expenses for these 10 years and give it to you." Willow was the long-lost daughter of the Chen family. Initially, because Madame Chen couldn't accept the betrayal, she was sent to an orphanage. But after Madame Chen passed away a few years ago, the Chen family repeatedly contacted us, hoping Willow would return. In the original book, Willow was also brought back from the orphanage by the Chen family in high school and got engaged to David while in college. But previously, Willow always refused the Chen family's offers, wanting to continue living with me. This was the first time she had told me she wanted to leave and return to her original home. I gave her a bitter smile and finally nodded. "As long as you're happy." She really did what she said she will. On the day she was discharged from the hospital, she contacted the Chen family to come and pick her up, to celebrate her return. The Chen family even held a banquet. She severed ties with me and became the Chen family's daughter. In a way, isn't the plot progressing in the right direction? This makes it more likely for her to marry the male lead, David, but for some reason, my heart felt empty after she left. Willow seemed deeply hurt by me. After giving me a large sum of money, she blocked all my contact information and treated me like a stranger at school. Walking past me without a glance, Anna was sentenced to 10 years in prison, and the Liu family also fell into decline. Originally, the Chen, Ling, and Liu families were in a tripartite balance. Now, the fall of the Liu family broke that balance. To quickly divide the power, The Chen family and the Ling family arranged an engagement, with Willow and David as the protagonists of this political marriage. Willow is really ungrateful. Her brother treated her so well before, and now that she's back with the Chen family, she doesn't care about him at all. Yes, I thought she was kind before, but now she seems like a real ingrate. I heard she cut off ties with George as soon as she returned. I can't believe she's such a person. Occasionally, classmates would gossip about us, with Willow always being the one criticized. It's not what you think. I was the one who hurt Willow first. I walked over to explain. Even though we no longer had any relationship, I couldn't stand hearing anyone say bad things about her. The Chen family was large and powerful, with complex interests. Knowing the plot of the original book, I understood that Willow wasn't having an easy time now. Her happiness level had dropped from 60 to 40 in less than a month. I returned home to an empty house, with my mind filled with memories of Willow. There was no one to pester me to cook for her anymore. No one to chatter beside me. That as long as she married David, I could go back home. Wasn't that my original goal? But why did my heart feel so empty? As if something was missing. I flipped through her old chat records in a daze, but the conversation window was long blocked by her, leaving me only a few exclamation marks. Under the Chen family's arrangement, Willow went abroad. David, deeply in love with her, naturally followed. Previously, David had asked me to help him make an impression on Willow. Now, it was my turn to ask him to report on her situation. Every time he told me she couldn't get used to the food outside and had lost weight, I felt a pang of heartache. So, I taught David how to cook a few home dishes and gave him recipes to occasionally cook for Willow. She still likes my cooking. She told me it tastes like home. David reported excitedly after his first successful attempt. I forced a bitter smile. As long as she likes it, make sure she eats more. Although she still doesn't like me, she agreed to let me cook for her once a week. David continued. I gave David recipes for Willow's favorite dishes. I couldn't just see her as a supporting character. We had depended on each other for 10 years, every day without her. I worried about her being sick or hungry. I sent her many messages every day, but she never replied. Once, when David mentioned my name in front of her, Willow threw a fit, telling him never to bring me up again. I didn't understand why she treated me like this just because I didn't respond to her confession. But without her, I felt like a walking corpse. Unable to enjoy food, I realized I must also have feelings for her. But we weren't from the same world. I was just an NPC wanting to go home. This wasn't my world. After graduating from university, Willow and David returned to the country. Although Willow still didn't like David, under her influence, he actively engaged in charity work and was quite happy. I had no family or friends in this world. Since Willow left, I lost my life's focus. However, time seemed to erase everything. And within a few years, I got used to being alone again. But occasionally, passing by places we used to walk together made me feel a pang of sadness. Willow, indeed the strongest villain in this book, transformed from a love-struck girl to a career-oriented woman. Within a year of returning, she took complete control of the Chen family. Willow became the head of the Chen family, but didn't he cancel the engagement? Even though no one in the Chen family could decide her fate anymore, I thought she might like David or was used to having him around. After all, the power of the plot is hard to change. However, David told me their marriage was just a contract. Willow still wouldn't accept him, but he had become more laid back over the years. He found doing charity work more meaningful than pursuing love. They were now simply charity partners, doing charitable work together every month. He no longer continued to like Willow, and they were better suited as friends. Willow said she has someone she likes. Over the years, I've gotten used to it. Now, I find charity work more fulfilling than loving her. After I marry Willow, I'll leave the Chen family to her and fully devote myself to charity. After all, rather than liking kind people, it's better to become one myself, David said calmly. His words made a lot of sense. To like a certain type of person, you should become that type yourself, rather than pinning your hopes on someone else. The Chen and Ling families are now the two most powerful families. With only a few months left until the wedding, the media have already started covering it extensively. I never thought that to find out about the person I raised myself, I would have to rely on the media. Her happiness level gradually dropped to 30, and aside from that, I had no information about her. The day before the wedding, I was kidnapped. I thought it was for money, but when I opened my eyes, I saw Willow standing in front of me. She had become more mature and beautiful compared to her youthful innocence from a few years ago. She had large waves in her hair and a delicate, appropriate makeup. Brother, long time no see. She squinted at me, looking somewhat condescending, but at that moment, her happiness level, which had dropped to 30, suddenly skyrocketed to 80. What was going on? Was it because there were less than 24 hours until the wedding? Congratulations on your wedding, I said, surprised that she had brought me here to meet her this way, especially since she had blocked all my attempts to contact her before. I am not planning to get married. She shook her head and lowered her eyes. I am going to disappoint you. Maybe you want to be able to go back to your original world. I looked at her in confusion. Had she awakened too? Anna told me the plot of this world. I knew in college that your kindness to me was just your mission. All these years. It was fake. You need to complete the task to go home. She gave a self-mocking smile. You always tried to pair me with David. You thought that only by marrying him would you complete your task. I guess the same. So I severed ties with you and got engaged to David. I wanted to sacrifice myself to send you home. Hearing her words, my heart trembled, and my fingertips even cut into my palms. Willow had sacrificed so much for me. Brother, I blocked you because I couldn't control myself from missing you. I wanted you so badly, but I also wanted you to go home. I was afraid you would lose your loved ones like I did, afraid you would suffer like me. I couldn't help but reach out and pat her back, just as I used to comfort her when she was a child. No matter what happened, she was always the little girl who needed me. She bit her lip, looking at me hesitantly, but I awakened yesterday. I found out that your task is related to my happiness level. Didn't you notice that even though I gained the Chen family and got engaged to David, my happiness level still fell instead of rising? I nodded. That was true. Her happiness level had been low these years, but she refused to see me, so I thought it was because she was suffering in the Chen family. Willow, I called her name softly, because only you can give me happiness. I don't want you to just be my brother anymore. George, only by being with you will my happiness level rise. Since that's the case, I won't hold back my feelings anymore. Whether you like me or not. She climbed onto my shoulders and pressed her lips to mine. I began to face my feelings for Willow, realizing that I actually liked her too. Previously constrained by the plot, I never thought about getting involved in this world. But she was so brave. Why should I keep retreating? With her in this world, why should I insist on going back? So, I decided to give up the task. However, she didn't believe in my feelings. Even when I expressed my love for her, she still thought I was trying to deceive her. To raise her happiness level so I could return to my original world, on her birthday, I cooked longevity noodles for her and prepared a candlelight dinner. She drank until she was slightly tipsy and looked at me with a bit of confusion. Don't try to trick me, George. I will never let go of you. If you love someone else, I will lock you up. I won't allow you to return to your own world. I patted her head. Silly, I won't go back. The place where you are is my world. I didn't know if it was because she had been abandoned as a child. But Willow had no sense of security. Her happiness level rose to 99 but never moved again. I think she still didn't believe I would stay in this world with her, deliberately holding back that one point of happiness to prevent me from completing the task. All I wanted was to treat her well and make up for the lost years. We held a grand wedding, and David handed over the company to us, then went to teach in the mountains, happily engaged in his work. There were even rumors that David had lost all hope after being jilted. But for us involved, we just saw it as a joke. One day, Willow and I were shopping when we suddenly saw Anna, just released from prison, holding a knife in front of us. She rushed at Willow, her mouth full of curses. It's all your fault, you evil supporting character. Because of you, I lost everything. Go to hell. The knife glinted coldly as it stabbed straight at us. In an instant, I threw myself on Willow, feeling a cold sensation in my abdomen as blood gushed out. George. Willow's voice changed with panic. She held me, trembling as she tried to press down on the wound. Anna was subdued by security, but she kept cursing. Feeling the loss of blood, I felt my consciousness slipping away. Don't die, George. I was wrong. I shouldn't have kept you in this world. As I was being pushed into the ambulance, Willow's happiness level suddenly reached 100. A choice to return to my original world appeared before my eyes. Brother, if you want to go, hurry up and go. You can't die. Please, don't love me. I don't want you to stay with me." Willow's voice was tearful, almost pleading. I knew she was afraid I would die, forcing herself to reach 100 happiness to let me go while I still had a breath left. But if I chose to go back, would I never see her again? I didn't know if this body could survive in this world, but if I went back, I would lose her forever. I decided to gamble and gave up the option to return. Either die or live and stay with her. I couldn't accept a world without Willow. It would be better to die. With that thought, I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I saw Willow sitting by the bed with swollen eyes. "George, are you an idiot?" As she spoke, tears streamed down her face again. I raised my hand to wipe the tears from her cheek. "Why are you crying? If that knife had gone to centimeters deeper, you wouldn't have survived." She held my hand. "Why didn't you go back? You could have at that time." I interrupted her. "A world without you is no different from being dead." Her eyes were red, looking at me like a wronged little rabbit. "Now do you believe I really love you?" "I'm not going back." I intertwined my fingers with hers. She nodded and then gently kissed my cheek. "George, I love you. I love you too. You are my whole world. Even if I give up everything, I will never give up on you."